Have a blast, Boston?
This is the day the Celtics and Celtics fans really around the world have been waiting for. We get to celebrate an 18th NBA championship. Good morning and thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Paula Eben.
And I'm Chris Tanaka. We're outside of TD Garden where the parade will start in just about an hour. Of course, Paula, the celebration's been going on since we rolled up here at around 4 o'clock in the morning. We weren't even the first ones.
No, there were people who beat us here at 3 o'clock, and it was dark then. As the sun rose, the crowd began to build. The volume is growing as well.
Yeah.
We have got thousands and thousands of people. The atmosphere is electric. People are so happy on this beautiful summer day to celebrate this team in this city.
Yeah. If you want to come down and watch the parade in person, it's not going to be here at the genesis of it.
No.
The streets are packed. There's barely any room to get around. The towels are out. People are ready. It is a sea of green, and the roof is ready to come off this place.
What's going to happen in the next hour is that the mayor will be inside at a breakfast with the Celtics team, the leadership, family members, and all the staff before they load onto those duck boats. So we have a live look for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to bring that to you when it happens. There will be remarks again from the mayor and others as well. But as far as the fans and everyone else who can't make it inside, well, that's what all this is for. They're going to roll out of the North Station garage, right down Causeway, and then a wrap around through the city.
When we are lucky enough to broadcast these parades, Chris, we can't say cue the duck boats often enough. And outside the garden, the duck boats are ready. We watched them rolling in a couple of hours ago. And in just about 45 minutes, the Celtics and their families will board each of those boats for this Boston tradition, rolling through the city. Such a unique vantage point for them, the fans, and people watching to see the city of Boston on display.
And we do have some new video just into the newsroom. It shows banner 18 proudly being displayed on the back of one of those 25 duck boats that are ready to go. So I mentioned a little bit about the route.
Yes.
Here it is for you. The duck boats, again, they're going to leave the garden, North Station Garage, right behind us. They're going to go up past City Hall Plaza, around the Common on Tremont, then down Boylston Street in the Back Bay before culminating at Heinz Convention Center.
And we're so fortunate. This is the 13th duck boat parade since 2002. So we all know how this is going to roll. You know what happens. We're so lucky that way.
Yeah.
And we have a live look from Sky Eye on the route for you as well. As you see, fans are beginning to line the streets. Up to 1 million people expected to line the route by 11 o'clock when everything really gets rolling. And boy, it's hard to believe it was just 4 days ago that the Celtics won that incredible 18th World Championship, setting the NBA record.
Yeah, we love seeing the video, that blizzard of confetti inside the garden. Today outside is going to be something different. The energy is palpable, Paula. And, you know, I think it actually starts with Levin Reed.
As it always does in the morning. We want to get right to Levin Reed with all the energy down near the Boston Public Garden. Levin, the fans are going to have just a glorious Friday.
You know, we had those weather issues as we were leading into the kind of heat and the problems that we were having early in the weekend, but today is glorious. And like you mentioned, we got here bright and early. We got a chance to see this build up, but checking it right now. These fans are starting to, I'm at the corner of Boylston and Charles. The fans are starting to just kind of pile in. They were in here doing some things. They all have their chants going. Loving Jason Tatum, loving Jaylen Brown, loving Al Horford. And they are here all the way down the street as they're getting ready for what is going to be a glorious parade. The 18th banner for the Celtics, a history-making banner, makes them have the most banners in the NBA. And just imagine how everything worked for all these people, how fans came out, how fans showed out, and they made sure that this team understood the love that they could have. All these fans came out, and they got a chance on Wednesday night to see the trophy if they win in North End, and they get a chance to see the players. Everybody is here for this reason, because you know what? It doesn't happen often. I like to say that, but I feel like it happens a lot here in Boston, and it's a ton. And I'll tell you a quick story that I was told by Joe Mazzulla. When he had new coaches come through, you know, you take them out for dinners, you take them out for different things here and there. Well, he took them on a duck boat ride because he said, you know what? this is how you get a chance to know the city. And also, when we win that championship, this is the ride you're going to see. But just imagine it lined with thousands and millions of fans. Well, guess what? That reality is now going to happen for them, and they're able to see that today as they're going to start this parade in a little less than an hour, hopefully, fingers crossed, and they're going to ride through this parade route, and they're going to have the fans kind of just jump and adore them and pay attention to the players, because none of them have seen anything like this except for Drew Holiday, but not Drew Holiday did it in Milwaukee. He didn't get a chance to do it in Boston. When you do things like this in Boston, you are remembered forever, and it's extremely different. You've seen the shirts out here. I saw a shirt that said, Drew Holiday is my hall pass. Don't know what that means, but it was just a fantastic shirt for people to have and for people to do. There's a lot of water here also for people hydrating. You get the feeling, you feel the power, you feel the energy from everybody around. It's just such a great atmosphere right now in Boston. And this is what a parade is all about. It's about community. It's about everybody coming together. And you get a chance to see the Celtics do it from beginning to end of the season. They were the best team. They end the season at 80-21, close to an 800 win percentage, 16-3 in the playoffs, only one loss on the road in the postseason. That's how you get it done. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, from the beginning, they had this expectations of them to do so well. Well, guess what? They were able to finish it, and now you're thinking once you break through, you're hoping for another one. We won't get that far ahead. Right now, all we'll do is enjoy this moment, enjoy the party, enjoy everything that's happening right now, and just wear your green, have such a good time, because this is Championship Friday. This is how we do it. This is Parade Friday, and people get a chance to jump up and down. I'm hearing a lot of noise on the other side. I was thinking what it was. Jump up and down and have a good time. And I will say this, Chris and Paula, it is so exciting right now to see the sea of green as people are out here enjoying themselves, as people are out here saying, hey, did you remember what happened in Game 5? Were you there for Game 1? All these people chanting how much they dislike Kyrie. And you get the Let Go Celtics chants just start to pop up out of nowhere. This is what it's all about. This is what it was all about. We haven't had a parade here in the city in 5 years. That was when the Patriots did it in 2019. Now we get one in 2024. The first Celtics parade in 16 years since 2008. And it's just a great time to be in the city right now, to be a Celtics fan, to be a Bostonian, to be a Boston fan, and to be a part of this. Chris and Paula, I will say this. I know you guys have a lot of people where you are, and you're getting ready to start that parade. Where I am is where the finishers end. This is where it is. You have people just starting out. They're like, yay. Right here is where, we've waited for this. We want this to happen now. And that's going to happen when we get there.
All right.
Guys, back to you.
And Levin, you're so right. As we look at these championship banners, Chris, this is what Greater Boston is all about.
Yeah.
The intergenerational joy of this community. Families that have been celebrating Celtics championships since the late 1950s, right through here in 2024, never giving up hope, loving this total team effort. It really is the epitome of what Greater Boston is all about.
I asked Leon Poe the other day when he was joining us in studio, is this intergenerational thread real to the players as it is to the fans? And he said, oh, you better believe it. Oh. Every generation has its star, every generation has its favorite player, and they're all woven through this thread of Celtics greatness. Yeah. Whether you're a KG Paul Pierce guy, Larry Bird, or Bill Russell and the Coos, someone's got their favorite player, and it is remarkable that they're all linked in history and linked in excellence.
Can you imagine for them knowing you are playing on the parquet of Bill Russell, that Bob Cousy is watching from home in Worcester, that people all over the country whose granddad sat with him and watched a Celtics game, and they watched Red Auerbach with the cigar right through Larry Bird to today. I mean, you just could go on and on, so let's not. And let's go to David Wade and Steve Burton, who have certainly seen it all throughout our lives growing up here. You guys, can you believe this? We're doing it again. This is the best. David and Steve?
It's wild. We were just counting them out loud. This is number 13 for us.
13, my friend. 13. Yes, and it never gets old, right?
No, I think at this point we could organize a parade across the city of Boston. We've done this so often. As you can see behind us, Steve, already a huge crowd.
Yeah, and it's just going to be filling up. More and more
Yeah.
people are going to be coming out to celebrate this team. And when you mention team, this is really a team.
Definitely.
They shared the basketball. They came together. They wanted. There was no big egos on this team, and that's why everybody's coming out to celebrate this parade, because this one's something special, David.
And I love the crowd. We have a lot of younger people. You can tell the Boston Public Schools, no school today, and you can see a lot of younger people. And I love seeing parents with their kids here, because these are memories that, listen, we don't take this for granted. It's been 16 years since the Celtics parade, 5 years since the Patriots parade, 6 years since the Red Sox parade. You don't know when these are coming again, so these are times that we should cherish.
And you want to take the time to come out, and it's a perfect day for a parade, right? It's not
is.
too hot. You know, it's cool down here, so we'll take that all in. But here's the thing: when you mention parents with their kids, it's a family atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the city of Boston, it brings the city together, which is what you want to see. And there's nothing like Boston sports. There was absolutely nothing like it.
You were talking about this team, Steve. We just saw the Larry O'Brien trophy several times down on the floor of the Garden.
With
right
Paul
now.
Pierce, by the way.
With Paul Pierce, who knows
Former
a thing or
captain,
two
that's
about
right.
championships 16 years ago. You remember Anything is Possible with Kevin
Garnett, right.
And this team, you're right. Through the year, we heard nothing but criticism about how they couldn't win the big game. And then they go 16-3 in the playoffs. Even then, people said, oh, well, the schedule is easy. And I thought it was interesting to hear when the playoffs were over that Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they were hearing that, and it was bothering them.
They didn't want to admit it during the games. They didn't want to admit it during the week, but afterwards, they were hearing that, and it was bothering you, no question about it, but they overcame it. And they overcame it, and I got to take my hat off to Brad Stevens. Okay,
built an incredible roster.
He put this thing together. He was the architect of this thing, and he put it together with love, with confidence, and these guys just rose to the occasion.
The right mix of people, no
Absolutely
question about that. And so the duck boats will be coming down Boylston Street from behind us, past the Trinity Church, which
no, we're used to the other way when it comes to Boston Marathon, right?
The other way, the Boston Marathon normally comes this
the other
way.
way.
The Red Sox, the
That's
Patriots usually coming this way, but basketball's a little different as they come over from the Garden. And I'm just excited for this. Right? I mean, the Patriots thing, we've seen a million times. You can predict what it's going to be like, but you don't know what you're going to see here today.
Right.
You know, we have a bunch of players who actually went down to Miami for a couple of days. They probably got a little partying out of their system then. So it'll be interesting to see how this is.
And you bring up an excellent point. Yes, they went to Miami, okay?
Yeah.
They did so, and the Miami Heat weren't too happy about that.
That's
Celtics went down
probably
there.
by design why we went there.
Right. But here's the thing. The players know how much fans appreciate them here in Boston, which is why they want to come back and celebrate it right. And a lot of these guys, you heard Levin Reed say, are going to just take in the moment because they haven't been here before, right? So they want to soak all this in.
And Drew Holiday was told when he ended up getting traded to the Celtics that when you win a championship in Boston, it's completely different.
Right.
And it's true. I mean, sometimes we like to sort of beat our chest and say we're the city of champions, and you know.
Well, we are. We're thankful for it. No, we're humble about it, but we are.
We're not always humble about it. But he was told that, and he immediately said it's the truth. Because what you're seeing here is special. The fans are loud, but they're also very proud.
Absolutely right. And here's the other thing about it. You see these things. Look at the line. Can you get out here?
It's awesome.
Okay, the parade doesn't start until 11. Hey, guys, we got Celtics fans here. Right? Hey, they're just taking it all in. That's what it's all about. Get the crowd over here. Hey, guys, we got Celtics fans over here. Take it all in. All right, David, right now they're 7 rows deep? Pretty soon they're going to be 12 rows deep, right?
I mean, hard to believe that we're an hour away from the actual start of the duck boats rolling out. And people took advice. They got here early.
They did.
Talked to several people who took the train. There were some delays, mainly on the North Shore with the T. But the city knows how to do this right.
And I want to throw a shout out, David. You mentioned the city to the to the Boston Police Department, because you know what? They got police everywhere.
Yeah, they do.
They got police everywhere, lining the streets, trying to keep everybody safe down here. And I just want to throw a shout out to those guys because those guys work hard.
You gotta lift this thing, pull this thing up, because
So
everything right now is Celtics merch.
Right.
There are certain things that you know you're going to see. You're going to see shirts, you're going to see hats, you're going to see those big chains. When do you ever see a Celtics coffee cake?
This is from Grandma's Coffee Cakes, Bobcats, and he put a design, every Celtic player on one of these cakes. So it's our job to get these things to the players, right?
So you know Steve
I don't know if that's going to happen,
The tradition is that Steve always takes the football and throws it to Tom Brady.
Right.
Today, Steve is going to take the coffee
I
cake
don't know if that's going to
and
happen.
Like a Frisbee.
I'm not.
He's going to get it to Jason Tatum.
Joe Mazzulla's cake? See here? There you go.
Hey, listen, if anything ever happens to you, you have a second job selling coffee cakes. It's good stuff. Good
Well, a lot of fun. Should be a great afternoon.
We're excited for it. Let's send it back to Paula, and let's send it back to Chris Tanaka outside of the Garden as we await the ceremony inside the TD Garden. Guys?
The coffee cakes.
All right. Yeah, David and Steve, thanks. I want to see Steve get dunked on, personally. But awesome energy, and I want to take a look, guys, if we can. Show the crowd here. They started showing up early. There have been towels that have been thrown into the crowd, T-shirts now going into the crowd. BPD having a good time. They're keeping us safe, but they're also dispensing some towels as well.
Yeah.
Paula, this is impressive.
This is a festival atmosphere, Chris.
Yeah.
And as David and Steve were pointing out, families are here.
Yep.
When they came out of the Garden to start handing out these T-shirts, the crowd went wild. Police officers and security guards are handing them to this very well-behaved crowd. People are walking around with babies in baby Bjorns and little kids on their shoulders. So they know this is for families. This is for the true Celtics fans. And the crowd is exuberant. It is going to be hard for us to hear once those duck boats start rolling out.
More T-shirt distribution going on behind us. I do have to say, so far, the crowd has been a really good kind of partner in all of this. They've resisted climbing on the light poles and the stop signs and all that stuff, and when there have been a couple incidences, they've gotten down. We do want to bring you inside the Garden. We show you what was happening outside. Remember, there's going to be an event inside, a little more, I don't know, intimate.
True.
Let's just call it that.
Yeah.
For players, the organization, and those close to it, the mayor will be speaking as well. We are going to bring you inside when that happens. Taking a look at all the banners, one more being added, Paula. That's going to be special inside.
We always refer to Fenway Park as the open-air cathedral of Boston.
Sure.
Today, the TD Garden is an indoor chapel with all of these banners recognizing the victories past, but adding that 18th banner that at the practice facility hung tantalizingly blank as this team watched it at practice day after day. And now they get the satisfaction of these adoring fans cheering for them and watching that banner 18 go up. As Levin pointed out, Patriots and Red Sox players, Bruins players have been through this, but this Celtics team has no idea when they come through this canyon of people and all the way around the city. And players always talk about just seeing it go on, and they're with their families, and they grasp the enormity of the people who've been watching them on television beyond the crowds they always have in the arena.
I've taken such great pleasure in marveling at the wide-eyed wonder of Jason Tatum as he takes in his first championship in what will hopefully be many more. Great depth for the Celtics. It's not just about one person. Great depth for WBZ. It's not just about one Burton.
We have so many Burtons to go to. We want to go to Paul Burton this time. And, you know, when we talk about community and greater Boston, Paul, we've been commenting on what a great occasion this is on a summer day for everybody to get together for such a joyous gathering after the last couple of years when people couldn't gather. This is just a tremendous Friday in the sun in the city of Boston to celebrate this championship team. Paul?
As you can see, we got a lot of anxious and exciting fans here on Cambridge Street. They are pumped. Family, friends, you name it. They started gathering here at Government Center as early as 7 a.m. this morning. Of course, those people are front row, ready to see this rolling parade, and they are pumped. This is epic. This is historic, and people want to witness it. They're here. They've been waiting here for 16 years for this moment, and the Celtics delivered. Banner 18. And what a beautiful day it is to have a parade. Nothing but smiles, excitement, and the atmosphere is electric. You can feel it. You can see it. It's a sea of green as far as the eye can see, and it is a powerful scene, of course. This is one that Boston's fans have been used to for many, many years. First, the Patriots, Bruins, Red Sox, but now it is all about the Celtics, and they are fired up. This is an incredible journey, an incredible team. As you can see, there's a ton of banners that are all throughout here. These folks have been lined up for a long time. I got this banner right here, T-Mac, if you can pan to me. We got this Jaylen Brown banner that people are holding up. This is the shirt, I'm told, that a lot of the players on the rolling rally will be wearing as they come by. But as you can see, the excitement here is real. These folks have been waiting for a long time, 16 years. Banner 18! Are you guys ready for a rolling parade? This is just the beginning. The rolling rally hasn't even started yet, and they are fired up, and so is everyone here. Back to you guys.
All right,
the tip-off is about to get underway inside.
And look, this says it all right here. All of these teams that we knocked off. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're not going to miss a thing. Stay with us.
Stay with us here on WBZ.
Think about Brad Stevens, what he put together, Allison Feaster, the front office, Coach Joe, And we're here, right? You know, growing up in the 80s, for me, Bird, you know, Bird and Parrish, and, you know, I'm thinking of Max, of course, Mikhail, DJ, Danny Ainge, everything. We have our moments. And the rest of you, for some, there's Bill Russell. There's a great Bob Cousy. There's Satch Sanders, Casey Jones, Sam Jones, Havlicek, Heinsohn. We could go on and on. KG, Paul Pierce. You look around, right? You can, and if you close your eyes, you can hear Johnny Most. It's just to say, this organization, thank you for honoring the Celtics tradition. Thank you for honoring the Celtics tradition. And for this team in particular, we are in love with this team because it is a team. It is a team, and they have given us so much. But to a person, and here's the thing about basketball, it's a team game. Everybody's got a role, everybody's got a part. Some nights, it was a different person stepping up, but they got it done as a team. And as great as they are on the court, these men are even better human beings. And I think we just all got to show love and appreciation, not just for the trophy, but for what they give to community, to the state, to the region. They are role models, they are leaders, and today we're going to party and celebrate the Boston Celtics.
Thank you one more time for the governor, Maura Healey. Our next guest is the mayor of the city of Boston. Please welcome Mayor Michelle Wu.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Eddie. Thank you, Governor Healey, and thank you to the incredible city of Boston and all of our Celtics nation. I want to recognize and thank all of my colleagues from elected office who are in the House. We have Boston City Councilors here. We have state legislators here. We have fans from every level of government. On behalf of the entire city of Boston, thank you to our 2024 NBA champions, the Boston Celtics. I'm here today not only as mayor, not only as mom to two boys who have been eating, sleeping, breathing Celtics basketball, but as a resident of this city who has had the privilege of witnessing firsthand how this team has become the champions they are today. I want to thank the players, head coach Joe Mazzulla, general manager Brad Stevens, the ownership group, for reminding the world that bold leadership pays off. This is a team that was willing to face challenging decisions head on, tune out the non-believers, take big risks, and truly work together to build something extraordinary. And as a result, today Boston is home to the undisputed greatest team in the NBA. This is a team that has solidified its place among the greatest teams in the history of the league. And while what they've accomplished deserves all the celebration that we're going to make sure they get today, I want to spend a little bit of time on the how. Because this team is special. We've all seen it throughout the season. Like our city, this team is a family. You can see it in how they play, the chemistry, the connection and communication, the selflessness and focus on setting each other up for success. But that ethos doesn't just vanish when they take that jersey off. They don't just show up at the Garden on game night. This team shows up at a high school in Hyde Park on a Monday to talk to our students about the importance of hard work and education. They show up at a playground in Dorchester on a Friday to paint and repave old basketball courts and work with a young artist whose court designs will serve and inspire a whole new generation of champions. They show up at our hospitals to visit with patients. They bring new gymnasiums to our YMCAs, new science labs to our community centers. This is a team that helps fund Boston's small businesses and entrepreneurs and partners to address disparities in Black maternal health. So when we say different here, we're not just talking about the difference in the quality of our team. We're talking about a difference in the depth of connection to our communities and just how much we care. What the world saw in the Garden on Monday night was 20,000 people on their feet for their family. And we are going to continue to nurture and celebrate this connection between the team and our city long after the duck boats have made it all the way down Boylston Street. We've already started having some conversations, and I'm happy to report that the Celtics are all in to get Boston's young people involved in celebrating this year's championship and the Banner 18 legacy throughout the year. So keep an eye out for that in the weeks to come, but we have a parade to get to. So just want to close with one last reflection on this incredible team, this incredible season, and this incredible city. To all the other fans who chanted, "We want Boston," I can't blame you all, because who wouldn't? Go Celtics, go Boston.
Thank you, Mayor.
Boston is special, and I'm looking forward to Game 5.
Everybody's super excited about this team and what we've accomplished and what we have the chance to accomplish.
Handoff from Holiday to Hauser, quick three, got it! Deflected away, Derek White dives to the floor. Brown goes up, layup is good. Here's Pritchard, he loves these. Puts it up half court of the buzzer. Bang! He's done it again! Finds Holiday, the left hand off the glass. Brown drives, finds Porzingis. Forces it right side, Derek White, his three. Got it! And many thought they couldn't win together. They have become a dynamic duo and ready to be a championship duo. And they are closing in on the finish line. So many doubted they would ever see. It's over. Time to say it again, Boston. Anything's possible. Get ready to raise an 18th banner, Boston. The Celtics are once again the winningest franchise in the history of the NBA. The best team in basketball all year. All the work, all the sacrifice, handling the enormous weight of massive expectations. The Boston Celtics are world champions for the 18th time.
Now, introducing the 2024 NBA World Champion, Boston Celtics! Drew Peterson, J.D. Davison, Namias Queta, Jordan Walsh, Jaden Springer, V. Mihailuk, Xavier Tillman Sr., O'Shea Brissett, Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, Sam Hauser, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, Joe Mazzulla. Derek White, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, with the MVP trophy, JB Jaylen Brown. And with with the Larry O'Brien Trophy, JT Jason Tatum. Celtics fans, the 224 NBA World Champion Boston Celtics. And now, for our panel discussion, please welcome NBC Sports Boston's Brian Scalabrine. Scal.
All right, let's go. We want to thank everyone at home tuning in. We want to thank everyone here. We're going to have an unbelievable day today. Please enjoy it. But we got to start out. This is going to be a quick interview, right? Jason Tatum, how was the last couple days since winning the championship?
It's been unreal. Still doesn't seem true, but just trying to stay in the moment, honestly.
And you guys jumped on a flight to Miami right off the next day?
A couple hours after, actually.
You guys been on a lot of trips to Miami, a lot of hard-fought trips to Miami. Was this one a little sweeter taking that trip down?
They always easy.
Al, you know, you've been through a lot of battles, a lot of playoff battles. Even when you think about it seems like forever ago, 2008, you were on the Atlanta Hawks playing against us in 2008, right? You know, how sweet was this particular championship with all the things that you've been through?
So special, so sweet to do it here and be able to win it here in Boston. For me, that was the most special part about it.
And then when you were obviously here before and you didn't get a chance to win, but when you came back, did you realize that this group would eventually, did you always know that this group will eventually, especially those two guys to your left, will eventually figure it out?
No question. There was a lot of growth. These guys were ready for it, ready for that moment, and we just needed the right group of guys. And it's hard to win a championship, and we were able to get the right group of guys this year. All of us here, this is what it's about, and I'm happy we were able to get it done.
Drew, when you were with Milwaukee, what was it like coming into this building and playing the Celtics?
You know, it could be a little bit intimidating. Fans could really get crazy, really start to fight you and all that. But I'm glad I'm on this side now.
So when you got the call that you were coming here, what were your feelings?
I was a bit nervous. There's a couple things that I think I did to the Celtics at the time that they probably didn't like. But again, once I knew that I got that call, just overjoyed and excited, and knew that we had something special.
Derek, you know, 2 years ago you guys went to the NBA Finals. You know, you just got traded here. You know, you had to adapt to a new city, middle of the season. You know, great playoff run, but you guys fell short. Like, how much did that loss, in particular, in the finals, motivate you moving forward with the work that you put in?
Yeah, I mean, you want to get back to that stage, and you just never want to just stop working. And to be so close and to fall short, like, it's just the ultimate motivator. And we didn't want to skip any steps, and we knew that what the end goal was.
Kristaps, you know, this was a tough playoff series for you as far as, like, being able to, are you going to be able to play or not? But you fought and you ended up playing in Game 5. Like, how hard was that at the second time when you got hurt, realizing that, man, it would be really tough to, if to not be able to play in Game 5?
Man, it was heartbreaking for me. I wanted to give everything to the team, and then to get hurt again, it was just, I didn't even want to, like, accept the truth, but I knew that, like, this team is unbelievable, and either way we'll be fine, and we took care of business.
And then Jalen, you know, all year long we saw you, all the fans and, you know, us over watching every single game, you guarding at such a high level, and then you not making the all-defensive team. When you came out in the finals to send a message, it seemed like right from the start you were defending Luka at such a high level. Were you sending a message to everybody like, you guys, the game is more than just offense. Like, you got to start respecting, you know, both sides of the ball?
You could say that, but
whatever it took for us to win, that's what I was willing to do. But on the defensive side, I know that's what my team needed me to bring, so that's what I brought to the table.
All right, so I always felt like in 2008, the best players on the team set the tone. They worked the hardest. They got in the weight room. They were like on a mission. Do you guys feel like the way that you worked this year was different than the way you guys worked in the past? I'll start with you, Jason.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it starts from the top down. And, you know, for me, it's always been Al. Al has always been the first guy in the gym. He's always taking care of his body, and that just sets his tone. He's always in the weight room, always getting treatment, and, you know, doing whatever he can to make sure he's available for us. And if he's doing that, you know, we all have to.
And what about you, Jalen?
I would say the same. I think this year was definitely different. I think we made an emphasis of going into this year, not skipping any steps. I think losing on our home floor in the conference finals last year in that Game 7, I think that hurt. That hurt me. I think it hurt everybody. And I think the way we came into this season with the type of mentality, the focus, I think we were all ready to sacrifice and give whatever it took to get to where we're at now.
And a lot of times we hear the message from this squad is about sacrifice, right? Whether it's sacrificing shots or, you know, putting your energy towards something else versus just scoring. I want to ask Al. Al, like right from the jump, you ended up coming off the bench. Did you ever look at that as a sacrifice?
I just understood the opportunity that we had in front of us. I didn't look at it as a sacrifice per se. I know that word got brought up, but I feel like we have such a special group here. I understood what we were capable of and the talent that we have here. And ultimately, all I care about, as these guys know, is winning. You know, I just wanted to win. I wanted to be a part of it, and that's what it required.
Drew, you've been a part of a lot of good teams. I want to ask you about like the guys right here, like the Stay Ready group. Like, did those guys push you from the start? When those guys would get into the games, you know, did that give you guys a boost of energy? Or if a guy was out, someone would replace? And remember Peyton Pritchard, you know, at the end of the year, he's getting 30 and 10, right? Like, what was this group like to you, like being a part of this team?
Yeah, they definitely motivated us. You know, we got to get better somehow. I feel like, especially when I came, I was new to the group and trying to figure out with these top 6, 7 players. But going against them every day is the reason why we're so good. And then you see what they do when they get a chance to play. You should clap for them. Anytime that they got a chance to get in and get into the game, they played the game the right way. They played well. And from there, like, they make our team so much better. So definitely appreciate them for they deserve this ring just as much as everybody else.
And Jason, I want to ask you the same question. Like, what's it like, you know, having guys every day in practice, like fighting and you know, like kind of pushing, or even seeing those guys working hard every single day, maybe on a night where you guys don't practice, but those guys are working. What is that? Does that motivate you to continue to push and strive?
Absolutely. And like you said, it's motivation. The days that maybe the starters come in and we're just watching film and we see these guys playing pickup or working out and making sure that they stay ready. It's so important, right, whenever Peyton or Sam or O'Shea or even Game 3 in Dallas when X came in, right, they never exactly know when they're going to play, but they know that at any given time throughout the playoffs, they have an impact and help us win a game. So I couldn't be more thankful for those guys and their mindset and willingness to just always put the team first. It really is like a group effort.
All right, I just got one more question for me. Jalen, you're a really smart guy. How could they say, I say they, how could they say that it was an easy road when 9 out of 13 people picked the Dallas Mavericks to beat you guys? I don't understand that.
Make it make sense, Cal.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Make it make sense, you know. I ain't really got a comment. We here.
Hey. And we are here. All right. I experienced the parade. I hope you guys have an unbelievable time. It's your 2024 NBA champions.
Woo.
Let's go.
Thanks, Cal.
That's right.
Thank you, guys. How about it again? Another round of applause for the 2024 NBA World Champion Boston Celtics. All right. For those that are assigned onto a duck boat, we're going to be calling out by boat, and then we'll ask you to make your way out to the boats. Those that are not assigned to a boat, there is a VIP viewing area at the back of the arena to watch the parade itself.
That was a great ceremony, Chris,
Yeah.
to get all the families together, have the governor and the mayor on
All right.
behalf of the
If you
people
have-
really thank the Celtics as the families assemble and get on their duck boats. I was just thinking, the old legend was that allegedly Red Auerbach might have turned the heat up in the opponent's locker room before a big game.
Yeah.
And I like to think the ghost of Red Auerbach made sure our heat wave broke last night, so the fans are getting a little bit of a nice breeze and air conditioning along
is.
this route this morning.
Yeah, look, bad hair day, good parade day. And speaking of red, absolutely. All right, so they are moving from the floor of the TD Garden to their duck boats. We're going to make sure we have it in its entirety. We're going to sneak in a quick break. We will be right back. You're not going to miss anything.
Just
Stay with
get
us.
a coffee. Don't go away. We'll have the first duck boats coming out very soon.
Duck boat. We want you to please go to the elevators.
Welcome back to WBZ's coverage of the Boston Celtics Parade of Champions. Paula, Sky Eye showing just how packed the entire city is today. A day of celebration honoring the Celtics for their rampant run through the NBA playoffs and finals.
Glorious, victorious day in the city of Boston. This is a happy crowd.
Oh, yeah.
They have been handing out these great green towels, little mini Celtics banners for the fans to have, T-shirts here outside TD Garden, and all along the route, you can just see this crowd is filled with families, people of all generations, just dressed in green and ready to celebrate this team.
You know what's interesting about this Celtics squad as opposed to, say, the Patriots, who had the constants of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady? This is a new team for a new generation of fans. There's going to be a Tatum and Brown generation, just as there was a KG and Paul Pierce generation, a Larry Bird generation, a Bob Cousy and Bill Russell generation, all woven together by the fabric of these 18 championships, getting ready to take the roof off the place on a glorious, glorious morning.
They know these players are so young, right? Mid to late 20s. This isn't going to be the first championship parade for this team. That is the hope here on the streets of Boston and all around the route, starting here at the Garden, going around Boston Common, down Boylston Street. I think the players are going to be overwhelmed after being away for a couple of days, right? Having that incredible moment where they were probably just overwhelmed with the victory, and now they have a chance to see everybody in the greater Boston community say thank you, happy smiling faces, looking up at them and their families and kids. It must be surreal.
There was something so refreshing about Jason Tatum's innocence when he just marveled and he couldn't believe that they had won it all. It in many ways mirrored what we at home were going through as we were watching. And for them to have that authenticity on display, I can't wait to see their faces, young and old, right? Al Horford's been in the league for almost 2 decades. What is he going to look like for him after 184 playoff games without a title? Oh, they're getting ready.
You hear a lot of cheering here right outside the Garden because they can sense things are about to get underway. Boston police going by on bicycles, that's the first sign.
And we've got coverage for you all along the parade route. WBZ covering you from start to finish. Our David Wade is with our sports director, Steve Burton, along the route. Guys, we're getting cranked up and ready. Hope you are.
And it's a warm day.
Yes, we are. We just had that overhead view of a rooftop pool that actually looks pretty good right now, Steve.
It's a pool of people, and we've been ready for this. Think about this. Parades normally come a couple days after. We've waited, 5 days, a week for this? Monday?
It's been too long.
It's been too long.
It's been
too long.
So
now fans are itching to celebrate this team. Roll right by them.
You know, it's interesting, Steve. They were just talking about Al Horford a few minutes ago. We saw the massive crowds yesterday when he just made an appearance at a local chicken joint. And the other day I tweeted out of the non-Jays, no Jalen, no Jason Tatum, who was your favorite player on the team?
People loved Al.
We got a lot of Al Horford, just because he's always been classy. There was a time where he went off to Philadelphia, and then he ended up sort of in no man's land in OKC. But they got him back here. And at the time, it just felt like, well, he'll just play a small role at this age. He plays a huge role.
Well, he's 38 years old, and he played a huge role. And in that last game, you saw Al Horford all over the court. You saw him hustling. You saw him getting to balls. And listen, when a guy like that hustles, the rest of the team's going to pick up as well. And there was no ego with Al Horford. He played out of love. He played out of, passion, and he just brought it. Yeah. And it lifted the whole team up.
And there's a saying, when you're young, you don't know what you don't know,
exactly.
Right? And so a lot of these younger players, they know how hard it was this year, but they don't necessarily know how difficult it will be to be here again. And Al Horford knows how difficult the journey can be because he's been on a journey for an NBA title longer than we've seen the statistics, basically anybody other than Karl Malone. And here he is today, being able to drive through the city of Boston on a duck boat with everyone yelling out his name and adoring him and his place on this team.
Which is why the players want to continue. This team wants to stay together.
Yeah.
And they got something special, hopefully, for years to come. And more guys will want to come to play for the Boston Celtics. And it's fun watching this team win. And now you look at the fans down here at Boylston Street. Man, I'll tell you one thing. We're like 20 rows deep, David.
Yeah.
20 rows. You brought up something very interesting during commercial break. it's a mixture of fans.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's great. I'd love to see that.
Yes, and I'm going to sort of, you take one step that way, I'm going to take one step this way, and we're going to ask John Hammond, our photographer, to zoom in, because I want you to see what the crowd looks like here on Boylston as well. As we look at Sky Eye, you can see people out on their balconies near the Garden. If we can take this shot as well, because the last time we talked to you about a half hour ago, it was about 10 deep.
Hey!
Now it's got to be 30
Celtics
or 40
fans!
deep. All of these folks.
Let's go, let's burn!
And Steve Burton gets them all fired.
This is what we do! Well, I don't know about all that. Let's not do all that. Hey, it's about Celtics! Celtics! Let's go Celtics!
Okay, you guys can't... If you didn't hear that, Steve Burton gets them fired up. Maybe get one of those Go Celtics chants going. They start chanting,
No.
Steve.
No, it's not about...
Steve.
Listen.
Steve. That is wild what just happened there.
Let me tell you something. These fans have been waiting for this. It's going to be a great day, and the players are just going to take it all in. They're going to appreciate these guys rolling right by them.
And what's interesting is, as far as the amount of duck boats, we were told by Boston Duck Boats that it's anywhere from the teens to 25 of them. A little bit different than football and baseball in that it's only a 15-person roster.
That's
but
right.
their families are here to soak it
Families
in
and
as
friends
well.
are here, and you got the Celtics administration as well. You know, they got the whole organization.
Yep.
And it's fun. It is
All right.
fun, guys.
We're going to be here for you along the parade route. We have a whole team. Let's send it back to Paula and Chris outside of the Garden.
Okay. All right, great. All right, in honor of Red Auerbach,
Hey.
you're outside the Garden.
Don't worry, boys. I'm not lighting this. I'm not smoking it. Wow, the celebration just getting ready to get started. We're going to have it all covered for
It's
you.
amazing. We've got images from Sky Eye showing you the enormity of these crowds being able to come in, most of them on the tee, on this really lovely Friday in Boston. The heat broke. It's like a nice 80-ish degrees with the breeze a little overcast, so that's feeling comfortable. And the players are getting on the duck boats with their families, preparing themselves.
This is where it really
We
starts
just
to
saw
get
the
exciting, and the fans here outside of the Garden can sense it. The players starting to board the duck boats. 24 of them are going to carry the team, their family members, Celtics luminaries, all through the streets of Boston. Paula, just a marvel to see this all come through.
We've been saying, Chris, this is what Greater Boston is all about.
Yeah.
These crowds, so happy to see these players. Families are here. It's a multi-generational crowd, and they just look so happy.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful summer day. These players are going to get the thrill of enjoying what all of the other professional athletes in Boston know is really an overwhelming experience, to see the number of people who take the time to come in. I want to see them in person to thank them for such a satisfying victory.
Yeah, and when we see the faces of all these fans, 2 words that come to mind: it matters.
It matters.
It matters to them. It matters to their parents and grandparents before them. It matters to fathers and mothers and sons and daughters who look at this team as something more than just entertainment. They're part of the community. We all bleed green, and it is different here.
It is different here, and now we have state police troopers walking by. We've had Boston police, and the players are boarding the boats. We watched the boats process in about 2.5 hours ago into the garage underneath the Garden. 25 of them, so it went on for quite a while.
Yeah, we just saw Al Horford get on. Can't wait to see his face as the duck boats turn on the causeway, and they're immediately hit with the sea of humanity, all cheering for them. He was an instrumental cog in this team, veteran leadership, that corner 3 ball that he loves, a dependable, steadying force. He's older than the head coach, Paula.
Amazing. And you know, when you think, Chris, about the sacrifices their families do make during the season.
Yeah.
You know, an over 100-game schedule, then into all the playoffs. This went into late June. Their kids probably haven't had the chance to see a whole heck of a lot of them in the last couple of months. And you know, their spouses and partners really sacrifice time to be able to get on a duck boat and share this experience with them, a memory their families will carry with them for the rest of their lives.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, it's something special.
Yeah, you know, and quite a few of the Celtics players had their families with them right after Game 5, and I loved seeing that.
Oh, yeah.
I loved seeing them bring their families into it as part of it, because it shows you what the organization is really all about.
That photo of Jason Tatum's little boy hugging him in that emotional moment on the court, I mean, that just melts your heart. And, you know, I'm just so happy for them that this is such a family community experience. And here we go.
The fans are so pumped up that when a dump truck honks its horn,
That's right.
it elicits a huge cheer.
When
Hey,
you're
real quick, we have a
applauding
bunch
for
of
dump trucks.
We have a bunch of state troopers lined up
Yeah.
in front of us right here in front of TV Garden. We want to thank them for their efforts and being partners in not just crowd control, but overall group safety.
Sure.
The men and women in blue from BPD as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for your efforts and your service.
Boston police officers were handing out T-shirts.
Yeah.
They're in on this great community feeling. And our Levin Reed has been down at the corner of the public garden, right there where it's going to culminate in the center of this parade route. Let's go to Levin right now to talk about the crowds as they gather all along the route. It gets bigger and louder all the time, Lev.
I would tell you what, Chris and Paul, you get a chance to see Sky Eye as we're looking at it right now. You can see how the crowd starts to build. And as you were showing before, you saw the duck boats. That's something that everybody wants to see. Those boats get going and they can get onto the boats. And you guys were talking about sacrifice. Every player on this team had to make a sacrifice. Whether you were Derek White, where you almost lost teeth going into this game because you had to win. If you were Al Horford, it was in your 17th year that you finally got here. You came to the bench. If you're Drew Holiday, you gave up a whole bunch of offense to kind of help guide this team as they're getting ready to get on to those duck boats. And if you're Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, you heard people all the time say, you guys can't win together. You had to sacrifice your temper. You had to make sure that you stuck together. You guys don't like each other is what people said. Well, guess what? The guys that don't like each other led this team to a championship, and it's just what they had to do. Even if you're Joe Mazzulla, everybody said you're too young. You're too young to get everything going. As these guys right now are getting in, it is good to see Paul Pierce. It's always great to see the veterans. They get a chance. Paul Pierce here for the last time. Obviously, the Celtics got a chance to win that championship. Now he's picking out which duck boat he wants to get into, and this is one of those things. Those guys can lean on the veterans who have been here before, and they get a chance to talk to them. What is it going to be like to win here in Boston? Paul Pierce can tell you because he fought through it. He had to sacrifice as well. It was Kevin Garnett who came in and said, hey, you know what? You're not working hard enough. And guess what? He started to work harder. And you hear that from Jason Tatum. When he talks about Al Horford, what does he say? Al Horford taught me how to do this, how to keep my body better, how to do things better. To watch these guys grow and become better basketball players, better human beings, and better men has been fantastic. As we look now at Sky Eye, and you can see the anticipation as it goes over the city and see everything getting ready for what is going to be a historic event. And let me tell you what, if you guys can come right to me where you can see right here on Boylston and Charles, we're at the parade, we're at the end. It is just busy. It is just happy. It is just ready to go. People are around here just getting piped up and ready to go because they understand what is going to happen. You're going to get a chance to see the team that you got a chance to watch win. You're going to get a chance to see the team that you root for win. The team that everybody said couldn't do it, they're getting on duck boats right now with their families, with their friends, and with their just people around them, and they're able to get it done. And that is something that they can't wait to see. It is such a fantastic moment right now as we're anticipating this duck boat's going to start any minute now. And it's going to be great to watch the players finally get up here and finally say thank you. See the faces of the players as they're able to look into the fans' eyes and the fans cheer them on. See the faces of Al Horford, who's been waiting this for his whole career, and see the faces of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Both of them told that they couldn't do it together, and now they're hugging him. And by the way, Jaylen Brown is the MVP. How about that? He was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and now he's the Finals MVP. And they said he couldn't make one of the NBA All Teams. Let's be serious. Let's be serious and let him get his thing. He's going to get his flowers. It is the time to give all these players, the coaches, and everybody their flowers. So let's head over to Mike Gorman right now as we're getting a live interview right now, guys. But it's been fantastic to be out here. Mike Gorman, take it away.
Now is just sit back and let it wash over you. Don't try to rush through it.
Go have fun.
All right, you bet.
I touched the screen.
All right, Chris, so you can feel every moment the momentum is building, and we've got people, as you said, applauding a dump truck that might go by, any kind of vehicle that looks as though it might be parade-worthy.
Yeah. We're getting staged here, and that's the good news. 11 minutes past 6 o'clock. Look, we're kind of on vacation time right now, Paula.
Absolutely.
We have some start times that they want to observe, but when it comes to this type of celebration and the scope of it and the size of it, hey, on a beautiful Friday in June in the City of Champions, it's okay.
I mean, what is better? We had a former Boston Police Commissioner, Bill Evans, with us early this morning, talking about security. Of course, that's the top priority, always. But he focused on the good feeling here, a family event. They hope people are, under control, and it just seems as though this is a happy crowd.
It is.
It's a fantastic atmosphere, festival atmosphere here outside the Garden. And, the former commissioner was just saying, Boston knows how to do this.
Yeah.
We are so lucky to be here. 13 parades since 2002, and people understand the flow. The players won't get off the boats. People are going to cheer for them and their families, and hopefully it'll just be an enjoyable experience for the players and the fans.
All right. We've got Drew Holiday being interviewed. Let's listen in.
I'm excited.
Have fun.
All right.
There's going to be a lot more people than last time.
Okay, Drew Holiday, one of the cogs of this team, brought over from Milwaukee, supplying some seminal moments in the playoffs, a consummate professional. He had the championship pedigree when he came over, a steadying force in the backcourt, combining with Derek White to be the most lethal defensive backcourt in the league.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And everybody had their moments, from them to Peyton Pritchard there in the ultimate moment. As the governor and the mayor were describing it, a total team effort.
Yeah.
And that's why this entire city, New England, loves this team.
And you know what? Speaking of the entire region, I think about our sports teams as a rock band, right? Everyone plays a part.
Yeah, sure.
They make beautiful music together, but every once in a while, someone's going to have a solo.
Yes.
And they're going to stand out, and it's going to be their turn to shine. This is like the Celtics solo right now, where they can step in the middle of the stage on the drums, and it's all about them or the guitar, whoever it may be. It's their stage. It's their moment.
You know, I
waited a while for it.
I had a sense when we saw the Instagram from Tom Brady the other day, and
Yeah.
he said, it happened again in Boston. I bet he's feeling a little envy this morning. He knows how this feels.
Yeah.
He knows how fun it is to experience this, as all the Patriots players do, a lot of Red Sox and Bruins players, and Steve Burton and David Wade are at a different position here throughout the city. And guys, our pro teams, boy, fans are passionate, they're intense, but these are the moments when it really pays off, and they just want to have an outpouring of affection and appreciation for all the hard work and long hours for these players. Steve, Dan, David, sorry.
Yeah, that appreciation will certainly be shown today. I can't believe these pictures, Steve. I mean, it's almost impossible to somehow compare the 12 prior parades to this one, right? Because the one that's freshest in your mind always seems the biggest. But this is one huge crowd, and the fact that it's a summertime parade, I think, just adds to the opportunity of people being able to come out.
And we love it. And, I said a little while ago it was 12 rows deep, and then it became 20 rows deep, and it looks like it's 30 rows deep now, and more people are coming down, especially here on Boylston Street. It's going to end at the Heinz, right? Yeah. But I'll tell you one thing. To have these fans come out and show their appreciation for this basketball team, what this basketball team was able to accomplish. Think about this, Dave. When the season started, everybody expected the Celtics to be that team. So they had to play with that target on their back the entire year. They put together a wagon, and Brad Stevens, I can't tip my hat off to him enough on what he's been able to do, and these guys want to stay together for a while. And we may have more parades, and the players are already talking about playing a 19.
And how about this, Steve? We have seen a lot of the team out and about with the trophy. We've seen Joe Mazzulla out and about with the trophy. We haven't seen Brad Stevens. I don't think at all. Have you seen him once?
No, he's the guy that's behind the scenes, and he deserves so much credit because he's such a positive guy. He's a smart guy, and he knows how to bring in talent. He knows what to look for, and he also knows how to make that talent mesh, and that's so important. You know?
The fact that he got Derek White for a first-round pick, and everyone's like, who's this guy? And then you watch him on a daily basis, and you go, wow, Brad Stevens found that piece of talent and brought him here, and boy, what a just indispensable part of the team.
Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and when Marcus Smart left, there was some criticism there. How the Celtics going to be? And all of a sudden, they came together even closer.
You know what's cool? Whenever we have a championship team, and you're looking now live at the picture, I believe this is just off of Stanford. This is an area, once the duck boats come out of the TD Garden, they'll take a right, they'll go by this area here. But when you see a championship team like this, you start to feel like you understand the personalities of each player. I mean, you think back in the day, Bronson Arroyo for the Red Sox became a cult hero with his guitar and the long hair. On this team, Porzingis, right? He comes into town. We know he's this gangly 7'3" guy who is often injured, right? Then we see him average 20 points a game. That's the statistical perspective of who he is. But then we see the smile. We see the winking on the court. We hear Jalen talking about living in the same building as him. We see Luke Cornett become sort of a fan favorite. I think learning about these players as they win makes it extra special.
It does make it extra special, and the thing is, they blended together. They put their egos aside. One of the things Porzingis said when he came here, he goes, here's what I love about this team. Everybody's confident. Nobody's yelling at each other. And, if we make mistakes, we know how to put it back together.
Yeah.
And I got to take my hat off to Joe Mazzulla as well. Mazzulla, there was a question mark going in. All of a sudden, he knew when to coach. He knew when to stay out of the way. He knew how to just mesh this team. And I'll tell you one thing, they meshed it right into Banner 18.
All right, so a moment ago you saw Joe Mazzulla from one of the live cameras getting on the duck boat. We are maybe a couple of minutes behind from when we thought this might start, which is sort of par for the course. We've seen that before. The city, of course, wants to get this going because of the heat and how many people are outside. We did see a stretcher go by with paramedics of one young woman, and we don't know if heat overtook her, but she seemed to be fine. So it's important that we sort of get this going. But I cannot wait to hear the sound from these fans as the duck boats roll out, as we're seeing, I think that's Al Horford with the cowboy hat, as we saw inside.
It's got to be Al. It's got to be Al. And one thing about these fans out here, everybody's pretty calm, cool, and collected, right? It's been a great crowd, but when these roll by, David, this crowd's going to go absolutely ballistic just to cheer on this Celtics team. And it's fun. These parades never get old. And you know what? You never know when you're going to have another one, as you mentioned. Sure. But to come back and just appreciate these moments, because some cities never go through this.
Absolutely true. And it was interesting just hearing, Jason Tatum yesterday tweeting how he went and played golf. And when he walked in, they called him champ. And he talked about how much that meant to him. In so many ways, a lot of the guys on the team are just kids. They're kids. Just kids. Imagine where you were when you were 25 years old and they had the weight of the world on them. The two Jays did this year.
Well, you mentioned just kids, David. There was a point where Jason Tatum hadn't met Larry Bird until the All-Star game. Right?
This year?
Oh,
my goodness.
He goes, I get a chance to meet Larry Bird. And think about that. Two superstars. And they had never met before.
And I just love that we were talking the other day, just as background for the parade, how this whole duck boat thing started. You remember back in 2001 when the Patriots beat the Rams, they had their ceremony at City Hall Plaza. You think back to the '86 Celtics, they had theirs at City Hall Plaza. And then from the story I've been told, the Menino administration saw that Patriots ceremony and said, this is dangerous to have this many people packed into one spot.
Right.
The idea of having the duck boats was, whoever came up with it, just ingenious. And from what I was reading today, they don't get paid for this. What they get is incredible marketing.
Exposure.
Everyone who comes to Boston wants to take a duck boat ride, but these players will get the ultimate duck boat ride today.
And we call it a parade, right? But there was a time, and we're still doing it now, where it's a rolling rally.
Rolling rally.
And it's
That's
a
what
rally,
Menino used to like to call it. Yeah.
We're going to keep on rolling. It's going to be a rolling rally. And these fans are going to be rallied all the way through the streets of City of Boston.
Yeah, let's show you again, if we can, the pictures from Sky High, because we are just awaiting now the duck boats to start to roll out from the garage that's underneath the TD Garden. We've seen Al Horford already on the duck boat. We've seen Joe Mazzulla, two guys who are apparently are really eager to get going, and we got to get the rest of the team on board as well. Let's send it back to Paula and Chris outside the Garden. Guys.
Sure.
All right, we're
back in
almost
front
ready
of
to get
TD
rolling
Garden.
here.
Yeah, we are almost ready, and this has suddenly became a VIP section because look who stopped by. Cedric Maxwell, a finals MVP himself, said having a good time today.
Man, this is absolutely crazy. I mean, to get here, you guys said people were here at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, absolutely.
Just to get
and there
started.
were people already here.
This is a million-plus people. God couldn't have shined on the Celtics anymore with the weather. Everybody here going to have a good time. I talked to Tatum, I talked to Brown, and both those guys, Tatum is still like in shock. He's like, I can't believe that we've done it. And so I told him, this won't be the last time.
Are they ready for this with their families? Are they just thrilled?
Families are going to be here. I'm just trying to figure out who okayed for the plane to go down to Miami for a part. Oh, hey. Were you on top of that?
That's a good question.
I know who okayed that, but they went down there and they got back. All of them got back. I saw all of them.
We're partying on their turf. That's okay. They're nice hosts. Hey, Seth, I want you watch every single game. You know these guys intimately. What's your main takeaway about the embodiment of this team getting over the hump when so many people along the way just cast aspersions, skeptical about them, and didn't think they could do it?
Biggest thing about this team is no ego. I think it starts from the top with Joe Mazzulla, Tatum, Brown. You know, they're leaders of the team, but they include everybody. This is a team win. And you see some of the guys, Derek White lost 2 teeth.
Yeah.
What the hell are we talking about?
Literally.
Porzingis was hobbling. This crowd is only going to get louder and crazier. This is something crazy.
Here they go, Boston.
I guess that means we're underway. The confetti flying once again outside of TD Garden. Paula, here we go.
Boy, this crowd is ready. Here come the Celtics cheerleaders. They're really unnecessary today. Their spirit is fantastic, but you don't have to hype up this crowd one more iota. Let's listen.
is underway, and Boston is electric. The Celtics have left the building, making their way down Causeway Street. Jason Tatum with the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Jaylen Brown with the MVP trophy.
And the crowd chanting MVP, MVP. He loved that.
It is everything they expected. It's everything the players deserve. It's everything the fans live for.
Green and white confetti flying through the air. What a special vantage point here for us, Chris, to watch Cedric Maxwell watching this parade. He's just in awe of how many people are out for this team. He said the players are thrilled. He talked to them before they left and boarded these duck boats, and they still can't believe it. They can't believe the victory, and now this celebration has got to just be so special for them and their families. They look overjoyed. They were hosting all the trophies, and now this will go on throughout the entire city of Boston. It's just phenomenal.
It is remarkable. We saw Joe Mazzulla lead the team out. He was in the first duck boat, and then right behind him was Al Horford, celebrating that milestone victory for him after all these years in the league. And we've seen players since. Peyton Pritchard, we've seen Sam Hauser. Taking a look at Jaylen Brown, your NBA Finals MVP. Just remarkable on such a glorious day, a blizzard of green and white confetti in downtown Boston in the middle of June.
Happy fans in the sunshine, a cool breeze. It is Green Day in Boston, and this crowd looks so happy, just beaming up at this team that they love, and it's just being returned. The players, the owners, the coaches, the staff just looked overjoyed as they go by in these boats. I mean, what other city does it this way and so well? And to get such a perfect day, it is just the cherry on top to this incredible season.
Remarkable. The fan noise says it all.
It does. It does. We could barely hear ourselves as those first couple of boats came out. And we were saying the cheerleaders were on board about the first or second boat. You didn't need cheerleaders today.
And of course, if you're not in downtown Boston, we want to welcome and thank you for joining us on WBZ, or if you're out and about streaming on CBS News Boston.
Yep.
Chris Tanaka alongside Paula Eben right outside the Garden, but just two of many people at WBZ bringing you the celebration today, not just in front of the camera, but our tremendous crew behind the scenes working to bring you this coverage so you can enjoy your team and your victory.
That's the thing. Our WBZ team, has been working on this since the minute that buzzer sounded and the Celtics won this NBA championship.
Everybody go home.
And you got to say, this is what brings the community together. We have Cedric Maxwell here, Celtic great. And you were saying you don't want people to just go home after this. What did you think as you watch these duck boats come out of the Garden to just the screaming fans?
Just the love of the fans. Love the fans, and the fans love them, and vice versa. It was a tremendous gathering. People now, I feel like Ferris Bueller. Okay, everybody go home now, it's over. But up where Steve Burton is going to be at now, it's probably live up there.
It's true. And of course, they'll be cheering for Steve as well.
They're going to be cheering for Steve. And right now, we're going to be cheering for Rochi because he finally made it through the crowd.
And we have another Burton, on our staff. So we're going to go to Paul Burton, who is...
Burton on Burton crime. That's what we say.
So let's go to Paul Burton, who's got the story at his location. Paul, this is a great work day.
Steve Burton now along Copley, looking at the live pictures of these duck boats heading our way, and Peyton Pritchard something tells me, Steve, he's going to have a good time today.
He should have a good time.
Right?
The guy made 2 huge shots. Now, the second one he traveled on, but who's counting that, right? He took 4 steps, but the ball went in. And you know why? Because everybody was looking at the ball. And we loved it.
You know what's funny about that is that it's not just sheer luck, him hitting these half-court shots. They actually drew up those plays for him because he's so good at it.
He has created a whole nother position. Put him in for buzzer-beating time, and he comes up clutch time and time again. Look at these fans out here, David. Look at the confetti flying. City of Boston just knows how to do it right.
Love the confetti. Right now, the front of the Duck Boat Parade passing by that famous arch on Standerford. You know the old sign, if you lived here, you'd be home by now? That's about where they are right now. And Joe Mazzulla standing up at that front boat there. And Steve, these guys are tall, so they have no problem getting out of the duck boat and being able to see everything around them.
And they have no problem being recognized now, too, because the fans just love this basketball team. You know, and it's all about team. And they want to take in every single moment of this ride.
Is that Paul Pierce over on the right-hand side?
That looks like Paul Pierce.
I think it is. I think it is, but our view's not perfect. But look at the parade route right now, and you can see just how far the line of people go. And there's Al Horford.
Al Horford with his cowboy hat on.
The cowboy hat. You know, I love that Al wore the cowboy hat because now we can see him wherever he goes.
There. And Jaylen Brown. Yes.
It's hard to tell if he's holding the MVP trophy or if he's holding the Larry O'Brien trophy. But how about Jaylen Brown and the story he became this year? That is the MVP trophy, holding it up to the admiring crowd.
Well, you mentioned his story, right? Now, let's not forget, Jaylen Brown struggled in the playoffs last year.
He did.
Right? And then all of a sudden, here he comes, he steps up. There's Porzingis. But Jaylen Brown became the highest paid player in the league, and he stepped up his game.
He did.
Big time. Porzingis, you know Porzingis is going to take it all in.
Love it. All 7'3" of him, and he has a heavyweight champion belt around his waist. You know, you can't have your hands on the trophy all the time, so why not just wear the belt at all times today? And yeah, back to Jaylen Brown for a second. He has lived somewhat in the shadows of Jason Tatum, and Tatum has all the endorsements. And I think it was interesting because I feel like we saw him transition into a more open person over the past month or so, where he actually opened up and said, you know, last year when Tatum rolled his ankle in Game 7 against the Heat, I didn't step up. A lot was made about, you know, his handle, his dribbling. And Joe Mazzulla said he works with 7 different trainers all the time to get better, and it's worked out for him.
It's worked out for him tremendously, and it's fun watching him come together, watching him play. Some of these guys just want to soak in the moment. You mentioned Jaylen Brown, and, you know, Jaylen Brown is almost a genius.
Yeah.
His mind is so sharp. One of the Celtics minority owners told me when he first got to Boston, you want to know where the best chess players were.
Really?
I want to go on and take people on in chess. That's Jaylen Brown.
And there is the trophy. I feel like Paul Pierce has the trophy
I
a
think
lot.
that's the truth.
If I'm one of the other players, I'd say, hey, that's our trophy. You already had one.
It's fun watching Paul Pierce with that, though.
Is that maybe that is his trophy? Maybe that's the 2008 trophy. We'll have to get some coordination on whether or not that might be his trophy.
You know, it's fun watching Paul Pierce because when he was at the Garden, they'd put him up on the Jumbotron, right?
Yeah.
And they'd show it, and all the fans would just go ballistic when they saw the truth up on this big board.
I saw a great tweet the other day. Paul Pierce is the truth, and Derek White is the tooth, because you remember he had that front tooth knocked out in the final game. And
he still came back and played.
Came back and played. He said, you know what? I'd lose all my teeth to win a championship. And you know what, Derek? We're not going to make you go that far, okay? Keep your teeth and get the trophies.
But you mentioned Derek White. You mentioned a guy like Drew Holiday. These guys were just so big-time additions for this basketball team. And each one played a role. And week in and week out, it was a different guy stepping up, David. And it's fun to see the results of all this.
And you know, one of the things I love about the amount of people that come out on a day like this, Steve, is not everyone has the luxury of going to a Celtics game. It's expensive.
Yes.
And there's only 17,000 people per game. So if you look out over this crowd, I would bet 90% didn't get to go to a game this year.
And think about
maybe some of them have never been to a game, but they watch, they read the articles, they know the players, and this just like the players, this is their day.
It is their day, and let's not forget what the city of Boston, what the Garden did. They had, for the first time ever, a watch party.
Yeah.
And they had two of them because people want to be able to go to the Garden and watch this team perform. And watch they did. Boy, it's fun. It never gets old. See these guys rolling through here. And when it comes down to this street, Wilson Street, David, these fans here, they've been waiting for a long time for these guys to get here. They're going to go crazy.
And I just love. All right, so that is Jaylen Brown, right, with the trophy? It's hard to see. You know what? Oh, it is
Jason
Tatum. All right, it is Jason Tatum.
We have a glare here on our screen, but that's Jason Tatum.
Absolutely.
Tatum's going to go here, holding the trophy, and then all of a sudden, he's going to hold some golf clubs.
Oh, man.
Because he's taking up golf now. And he wasn't, but he's looking at it. The monkey's off his bat.
That is the image. Let's go to Dan Roach, who's much closer to the action at this very moment. Dan.
Roach is hanging out with Maxwell.
All right, thank you, David and Steve. We're here with Cedric Maxwell and Max. It took me, this place is jammed. You casually walked across the street because you're Cedric Maxwell. I went underneath the North Station and it literally was a wave of people trying to get through to you.
You told me that was the way to go, and I started going that way, and it stopped. So I came back under the Garden, and then I walked where the duck boats were, and I walked across the street and finally made it here. But, man, people were kicking and fighting, and I didn't know if it was a celebration or a boxing match.
Max, my favorite part of the parade, or one of them, is when the guys board the duck boats, they have no idea what they're about to see as they turn the corner. Tell us that feeling as a player when you see the thousands and thousands of people in the buildings everywhere you go.
It's surreal. You think about it, and I talked to Tatum, I talked to Brown. They were excited while they were on the inside, but coming out here, you could see that the excitement that they had on their faces. They were just elated that their fans were what they wanted to know. And the love between the fans and the players and vice versa, it was unbelievable.
Well, I think the other thing, too, is Drew Holiday said, I said I was the first one. He says, not as many people, right? That's the one thing they're overwhelmed by here in Boston, right?
He's in Milwaukee. What do you expect? This is Boston. Boston is built for this. Boston is built for these celebrations. Boston's done it with the Patriots, the Bruins. You go down the line, the Celtics. This is what this city is all about.
Well, when you look at it now, Max, looking back on it, as they go through this parade, and a lot of players will say that's when it sinks in. Was it the same thing for you?
Yeah, it really sinks in after that. Just the celebration you have, talking about winning attitudes, being with the Celtics, and the fans. Really, it's about the love of the fans. I think that's what it happens to be.
All right.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
I mean, you were getting jostled, punched around.
I made it.
Yeah.
So all is good.
Yes, indeed.
All is well. Sorry for my English there.
That's okay.
All right, we'll be back with more, you and I.
Yes, indeed.
Let's go back to Steve and David. Take it away, fellas.
All right, thank you very much. We're back here, and you know what? These guys are just soaking in the moment, David.
I love that they're sending messages too, Steve. His shirt says, state your source. All right, the backstory on that is one of the national commentators saying, I think it was right before the series, that not everybody loved Jaylen Brown and that he didn't get as many endorsement deals because he took everything so seriously, that he wasn't always approachable. And he said at the time, state your source. And well, national commentator who I'm not going to call out, he got the last laugh because he's now in the middle of a parade, and people love him quite a bit, thank you.
Yeah, they love him because he elevated his game, and he put his ego aside. He got along, and when he won the MVP trophy, he included Jason Tatum. He included the rest of his teammates as well, but he made sure he pointed out Jason Tatum.
And twice in the days after this series, he's called Jason Tatum his brother. We never heard that before, Steve. And people made a lot about, any type of possible
animosity.
Or a competition. And guess what? Competition between two 25-year-olds.
Elevates guys.
There should be competition. You should want to be the best person on the team, right? Joe Mazzulla with the hands up in the air, pointing to the crowd as they pass City Hall Plaza. And we have Courtney Cole on the ground there. Let's get to Courtney.
Hi, we are here on Tremont and West Street, and it is so live over here. Take a look at this. There he is. All right. Look at all the excitement. The duck boats are rolling right on through. There's Missoula. There, woo!
Oh, we lost.
Okay. All right. We lost Courtney's microphone there for a second.
Courtney's excited. She's just caught up in the moment as well.
Excited. And I
which
will
is
say,
fun.
just for the folks at home, just so you know how this works, there are a million different wireless cameras, and there's so much going on that occasionally we will lose the microphone, and we are, I promise, doing our
We
very
haven't
best.
lost the passion. We haven't lost the spirit. And these people have been here out on Boston Street, very patient, right, waiting for these duck boats to roll by them.
And it's early in the parade, but if I'm going to make an observation about the players and the party atmosphere, I'm not seeing as much use of the cold beverage as I sometimes see in the Red
those
Sox.
Scenes, right?
Yes.
Right.
The Red Sox and the Patriots, not seeing a lot of the crushing of cans. Just, it feels a little bit more on those duck boats like a sort of a family environment.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because you see these players cheering out the window and they want to take them. It's not about drinking. It's about coming here and enjoying these fans, showing their appreciation to them.
Guess who else is on a duck boat today?
Who's
Mike
that?
Sullivan. He's on the
Sully!
media boat. He's going up and down the roads. And Mike, take it away. Tell us what you're seeing.
Yeah, I drew I guess the best assignment here today. Somehow I ended up in the parade. So we are on a media truck wedged right between some of the duck boats. We got to see everyone come by. And you guys keep talking about that sense of disbelief, right? The look on the players' faces as they've been coming across the duck boats. I saw Jason Tatum just come right in front of my face. The crowd was chanting for him to scream. He couldn't even get words in. He just sat there stoic, trying to take in the moment because he was just in utter disbelief. Now, when Jaylen Brown came by, a little more rowdier. I think he's starting to understand what's happening. And he's got his MVP trophy in hand, just leaving it up in the air. And really, it is a rowdy time down here. We've got music, we've got chants. You can hear it all around me right now. We got Rihanna. I mean, it's a party down here. I don't know how you guys let me do this. I feel like I need to pinch myself right now because this isn't fair. But we are here on that media truck. We're covered in confetti, which is crazy. We've got all these trucks that have come by shooting confetti into the crowd. I got this guy over here, calls himself the world's greatest. He's got green hair. He's pointing at me. I can't exactly tell who's behind us in terms of duck boat. It's kind of hard to see on top who is up there. Typically when they come by, you can see a sign that tells you which player is on that duck boat. But right now, I can't see who that is. However, someone just chucked a beer to them from the crowd. And a perfect catch. Reminds me of those few years back when Tom Brady threw the football to Steve Burton, only now we've got beer. It is a crazy time down here. Right now we're through Government Center, and it is waves of people. You're talking rows and rows and rows of people, and people are trying to get as high as they can. We've got people climbed up on walking signs. We got people climbed up trying to get wherever they can. It's crazy here. I wish you guys could be here with me.
You know what? One of these years, I'd love to be on a duck boat. Have you ever been on a duck boat?
I've not been on a duck boat. No, not with another parade. But you know what? We're so
I've been
busy
with my
covering.
family, but I want to get on one of these duck boats with the players. A few moments ago, we saw Drew Holiday at the front of one of the boats, and he's now won 2 titles. Okay, one of the things that he brought to this team was this idea of, guys, I know what it's like to win. Do these things, and it will happen.
We'll get done.
Greatest teammate you could possibly have. I can't imagine what he's thinking right now, picturing the parade he had in Milwaukee, not to diss Milwaukee or throw any shade, compared to what he's seeing today.
in Boston.
Right?
And he had sense enough to talk to the players going in, right? Saying, hey, we won it all. Now let's just appreciate this as we roll through the city of Boston, guys. Don't miss this moment. Because you're right. He's been there, done that. A lot of these guys obviously haven't. so they want to soak it all in. Seeing these guys going over, you're right, David. You know, you compare this to the other parades. When it came to the Red Sox and Patriots, you saw a lot of different things happening on these boats. These guys are just conversing with the crowd. You know, they want to feel the crowd. They want to be with this crowd, and they want to have the crowd appreciate them. Let's go to 11 Reed, Dave.
Yes, let's go to 11. What do you got?
I'll tell you what, David and Steve, right now, as the duck boats start to approach it, it's what everybody's been waiting for. You get a chance to see the police come through, and then the fans get that anticipation, and then you see the confetti machine as it comes through, and it starts to let people know that, hey, the parade, the rolling rally is right on top of you, and you get a chance to celebrate, and that's what all these people have been waiting for. These people are hanging out of buildings safely, thank you. And there's people also lined up anywhere between 50 and 20 deep as they're getting ready to celebrate and say thank you to the Celtics for bringing that 18th banner. It started early in the season, in the regular season. They go 80 and 21 all through, almost an 800 win percentage, but everybody still thought, well, they're not playing anybody. It turns out everybody they played, they just beat their brains in. That's basically what happened. Winning it in 5, and now you get the celebration of all celebrations as it starts to roll through. The players start to feel the love from the fans, and the fans get a chance now to say thank you. Confetti in the air, and there's so many people, as we all know from covering parades, we're going to take some of this confetti home and basically say, hey, I was here when. I got a chance to see it when. I got a chance to cheer them on. As you get a chance to see the players come through, the confetti cannons blowing through, and the fans get a chance to feel what a parade feels like. I mean, as much as we've had parades, though, this is obviously the 13th since 2002, there's a lot of people who are like, well, you know, 5 years ago, I was maybe 13, and I wouldn't go to a parade. Well, this is a parade for everyone. And now they're right upon us, and you get a chance to see what's going on. The Celtics and their families are here. Trying to get loud. Everybody gets a chance to feel the love that's going on. And that confetti flies. And the fans get a chance to say thank you. The fans get a chance to wave and say hello. The fans get a chance to see some of their favorite players. It's so funny how in the mainstream media, as we get a chance to, naturally, they talk about whether Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown should not coexist together. Well, guess what? They won a championship together. And talk about Brad Stevens. What did he do? Maybe he was the MVP of this whole thing. They're going to move to Drew Holiday and Jared Davis. And then, guess what? We're going to have to let go. What many people call the hard I love this song. Step ahead. This is the best scene that you get a chance to see. There is Al Horford with the hat on and his kid, and he's just waving, saying thank you to the fans. In this first truck that we have right here, you can see Joe Mazzulla as he's saying yes, thank you, he did it, as they're being thrown different types of beverages. Here's Al Horford in the truck. There's Al's dad in the back of the truck. Al's dad was a basketball player also. Al Horford has been waiting for this for 17 seasons, and he gets a chance. He gets a chance. Good job, Al. He gets a chance to celebrate. It's something he's been waiting for, something he's wanting to do. On this third truck, you can see Brad Stevens, kind of the architect of everything went on. Think of what Brad had to do. He was once the coach, then he kind of moves upstairs, and he puts a team together to win. And then in that fourth truck, Kristaps Porzingis played on an ankle that we don't, or a foot that we don't know what is going on with it, but at the same time, comes in game 1, makes such a difference, and then says, I'm going to gut it out in game 5 because I want to be part of the victory. And he gets a chance now to yell at the crowd, something that not many people get a chance to do. This fifth truck, as you can see, the fans go through, the players go through, families come through, and they get a chance to say, hey, we're part of this too. That's right, Tommy. Let's do this for Tommy. You get the Tommy chance of Tommy. Finger points, and that's good. And right here in this next truck, this next boat, I should say, you get fans who get a chance to see some of the newer players, some of the players who are part of the Get Ready crew, as they're getting ready to get out there and just make sure that the team is ready when they had to come off the bench. when the team had to, dig down deep in practice. These were the guys that made sure that things were able to happen, and they would make sure that to keep those starters as stiff and strong as possible. And this next truck, the blue truck, the Fenway Fanny, you get families, you get a chance to make sacrifices throughout the whole season to see what's happening, to make sure that everything goes well, and then when you get to see that championship trophy right there, being held. That's Leon Poe. He's been with us after every Celtic game. He's here to help us out. He's holding that trophy to make sure the championship's won. He won it in 2008, and he's showing how it's won right now and get it all done. There's Sam Cassell, one of the better coaches. Big Sam. How's it going, baby? Make one of the better coaches come in and makes everything done, showing his love for everything, and more families will get a chance to come through as this rolling rally goes up and down Boylston, and make sure that people get to understand what everything's going. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're the best. Make it through. Such great fans, such great people. Get a chance to enjoy what is happening here. I'll tell you what, David and Steve, this is what it's all about. When you get a chance to watch this rally go through, and the fans get a chance to say, hey, this has been fantastic, and it's just more to come, hopefully, as we throw it back to you. You can just enjoy what's happening right now as this rally continues.
These little girls are struggling. Always see the cockpits. All right. David Wade and Steve Burton back here on Boylston, and continually looking at the Celtics rolling down the street here. Just want to give you a little bit of background on what we're seeing here. The heat is becoming a story.
It is.
It's not as hot as yesterday,
No.
thank goodness. But we are seeing quite a few people who are struggling in the heat. We have seen probably, 3 or 4 people taken away on a stretcher,
Yep.
just
Right.
in about the 100-foot area where we are. So we're about halfway through the parade route.
Right.
So if people can hold on a little bit longer, we're hoping that there'll be, not a big sort of problem with heat stroke and things like that. But we are seeing people being affected.
Well, some of the people have brought water down here, and they're trying to share it with others, which is okay as well. What's good about this crowd right now is that they maintain a calmness, but they're waiting for this rally to roll by them. And now we're starting to see the police cars down Boylston Street, so they're approaching our way, and it's going to get loud, David, as soon as they pass our way here. But they are getting closer, and again, these players, a lot of these players, David, are already talking about doing this again next year. They know they have something special, and they know if they play together, they can't be beat.
They're taking the turn, you can see, from Tremont onto Boylston, around the common there, over by Emerson College. And Steve, I couldn't believe the night that they won the title, you were on the floor, and it must have been, 20 minutes after they won the game, you were with one of the owners, Steve Paliuka, who immediately talked about maybe trying to get banner 19. Usually that's like a media-driven thing, but you had one of the owners immediately talking about next year.
Dave, the game had been over for 45 minutes, and he was talking about banner 19.
Yeah.
I said, can we appreciate this moment? But he knows, and I give Steve Paliuka credit, he knows that they got something special. He knows that they can make a run. They saw the Patriots make a run, now they can make a run with the Boston Celtics. And to have Brad Stevens as your cornerstone, putting this team together, they can hang banners for years to come.
Tatum's under contract, Jaylen Brown's under contract,
and they don't
Holiday's
want to
under
leave.
contract.
Other players want to be part of this.
Porzingis is under contract, and you're right. When it comes to trying to pick up some of those important veterans on a minimum contract, they'll want to come here, especially when they see the images we're seeing right now. The Celtics just having the best time on the duck boats with confetti falling around them. What has struck you so far about what you're seeing, Steve?
I think what I've seen so far is the fans being down here, being calm, cool, and collected as they approach here, but the players just appreciating when they see the fans out there. There's not a whole lot of drinking going on. They just want to soak in the connection they have with these fans. And you mentioned, it's tough to go to the Garden. So a lot of these fans didn't get a chance to go to the Garden.
Yeah, this is their chance.
This is their chance. And the fans are showing out in droves. And they're making this happen.
You do see the banner on the back of that duck boat. Just to be clear, that's not the banner that will be unfurled at the beginning of the season. We did a story just yesterday on Woburn Flag and Banner. I think that's the name. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're in the middle of making this banner, which is 10 feet wide, 15 foot long, and it's going to be an incredible sight to see that go up.
No question about it. Different generation, different team. And now the police are starting to come by. We look down the street, we're going to be able to see our first duck boat, but now the fans are starting to get riled up here on Boylston Street. And it's fun watching these guys ride through here.
Just to give you a sense of the logistics, we're here on Boylston near the Boston Public Library. Right. We can tell you that these people aren't lined up to go check out a book. They're here to check out the Celtics, and they're getting louder. They're going to get louder when they get here. We're going to sort of step aside so you can hear them. But it has been a tremendous outpouring of support from the fans so far. And Wick Grossbeck, we talked about Steve Paliuca. Wick Grossbeck, I have to say, has been an incredible owner for this team. He has spent the money. And that's one thing fans will always appreciate. Spend the money. Let us know that you are into winning, that you're invested. And he has been invested. Let's stop for a second here, Steve, and let people listen to the chant. All right, you know what? Actually, I'm going to cut them off because they have a Kyrie chant going that is not television friendly.
Exactly. But you mentioned Wick Grossbeck. I was with him last night at an event. He brought the championship trophy there. And he, too, as an owner, is sharing it with people. You know, that's what it's all about. It's about, winning the thing, but being able to share it. And that's what he's been able to do so far.
I'm actually pretty excited, Steve. You know, it's funny because you grew up in Framingham.
That's right.
I grew up in Somerville and then Tewksbury. And here we are as not only broadcasters but fans having the opportunity to see this.
David, 13 parades.
13 parades.
This is our 13th parade. And it never gets old, as I mentioned, and to see these fans.
I think we saw Sam Hauser a moment ago coming up with some clutch threes in that final game. And it's funny you mentioned the 13 parades. I was down in Dallas for games 3 and 4, and I was talking to somebody down there, and I said, well, I've been to 12 parades, and they looked at me with disgust. Like,
they don't want to hear it.
Don't talk about it.
Some cities never get a chance to taste one. This is our 13th. And for the younger generation, they think they have one almost every other year.
You know what? We're going to step aside a little bit. We're going to have John, our photographer, zoom in, and you'll see the viewpoint from us if we want to take this shot, and you will see the confetti falling down in front of Trinity Church, and the fans, 50 deep in some spots, 100 deep in other spots, having the opportunity to watch this.
You know the prettiest sight, David, is seeing the confetti fly when these duck boats go underneath it. Just watching that confetti just spread out through the streets of Boston. It is so much fun.
We're going to let you listen because the sound is deafening right now.
Look at that. The Patriot cheerleaders, the Patriot Celtics cheerleaders coming by as well.
Boy, fish Gatorade or something. Since 2009, I had this jumping to get a wedgie. He flipped over your boxes, over your phone.
I don't know if you... So here we are, Steve. They are upon us, passing the Trinity Church here in Copley. The crowd is deafening.
And we have Joe Mazzulla here on the front boat in front of us. Doesn't matter if they've traveled a couple of miles already because their excitement has not waned. They are enjoying every single minute of this.
These are the moments you want to take in, folks. When you have the fans come out here and appreciate this, this is what it's all about. I see Al Horford, David. He's got the cowboy hat on. And keep it out. There you go. Take a look at Al Horford.
Throw him the ball. Get the ball. Right here. Yeah. Oh, let's go. Yeah. Get it back to him. Get it back. Oh. Now get to the next guy. And go wide here. Steve, do your thing. Back here, back here. Come on. Oh, give it. Don't be real hard. It's going to Porzingis. 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 Oh, yeah! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! How are we doing, David? This is let's go! Let's go! All right. Let's see who's next. Come on! Steve and I are having fun.
We got to take it all in,
We
right?
apologize. But we're going to get to this basketball to as many players as possible. So now you have Steve Paliuka, one of the minority owners. And if you don't know, Steve always makes the football pass to Tom Brady. And now we're making some basketball passes here this afternoon to the current legends of this city.
There you go.
The Boston Celtics, champions 18 times over. Drew Holiday on that passport.
That was Drew Holiday.
That was Drew Holiday, yeah.
Good to see you guys.
All right, Steve. This right here is the money boat. This is the money boat. You got the trophy.
Is that Scout?
That might be Scal. That might be the 2008 trophy.
Brian Scalabrine.
Let's go!
Brian Scalabrine going by to the boat.
All right, Steve. Let's see if you can thread the pass. We got to get it back, though, for the next duck boat. Let's wait for the next one.
Yep. It's all about
Awesome
taking
to see members of the Celtics organization also passing by. And that particular boat had a Red Sox theme to it.
What's that?
That last boat had a Red Sox theme to it.
So good.
And now we're having the opportunity to see a Celtics theme for each and every one of these. We're going to take a very quick break and we'll be right back.
The Boston Celtics Parade of Champions on WBZ is presented by TD Bank, America's most convenient bank and official bank of the Boston Celtics.
Oscar trophy up close. That's special.
That is extra special. And he will remember this for the rest of his life, David. We got more confetti coming. Because this is what we do here in Boston.
You know, watching Tatum go by with that trophy, they've been so close so many times. Eastern Conference Finals, it felt like every year.
That's right.
They take on a dynasty in the Golden State Warriors, and they'll be the first ones to tell you it wasn't yet their time.
It wasn't their time.
What they learned there allowed them to win here this time around.
And they're a more mature basketball team. Yeah,
all right, so we're going to try to make the pass. Hopefully to Jaylen Brown. There you go. Steve, I hope you're ready.
We're taking it all in. With Steve Deliuca.
Ready. Throw it in the back. Let's see it. Oh, let's go. All the way. No!
We got it.
We got it to
We gotta
Steve
get the ball back.
Deliuca. Steve Deliuca didn't quite get it back to us. That's okay.
He got it.
We got it.
It's fun watching this thing happen.
So we continue to watch the boats come down Boylston Street here. And you know what's kind of cool, Steve? We're seeing some of the local organizations also that the Celtics have worked with being given the opportunity
to ride
be on these boats, right? And that's what it's all about. Most of our local franchises do a lot for the local community. There we go, Derek White.
Another moment. Derek White with his family.
Put into words how loud it is when some of these boats go by.
It is.
You know, it's interesting.
I also take my hat off to the Boston Police Department who are walking this parade in this heat.
Absolutely.
You know?
And the paramedics as well.
Exactly.
And is this Sam Hauser with the shirt off?
That's Big Sam with the goggles on.
He's going to need the goggles and some sunblock. He's having a great time.
Signing shirts, passing them out, signing autographs. This is a connection that they have with these fans here.
And just again for logistics, these boats are going to go up Boylston and stop at the Heinz Convention Center. So this is probably the last quarter mile or so of the parade. You may remember back when the Red Sox won their World Series in 2004, they had the idea of allowing these duck boats out onto the Charles River.
That's right.
They never did that again.
Safety reasons.
Peyton Pritchard.
There's Peyton. You're talking about the moments in time. He shined when he needed to most. Those two shots Peyton Pritchard hit at the buzzer. Phenomenal shots.
That half-court shot he got.
Unbelievable,
in
right?
Game 5. Steve, that was the moment I knew this is the night. This is a special night.
Not only did you know,
they knew.
Dallas knew as well.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what?
You're right.
Dallas knew it was their time. It was the Celtics' time.
And I love this. Just members of the organization.
Yes.
You would think that they were one of the people out on the floor. And you know what? It takes a lot of people to make an organization run well.
You're absolutely right. And it starts with the owners. Rick Grossback, Steve Deliuca, the minority owners. But then there's Brad Stevens. He's stuck with Joe Mazzulla. Celtics cheerleaders.
telling Steve Bell you could try to throw us that ball.
Hey, let me tell you something. The rally is rolling. He caught the basketball. That right there on the move, catching it is something.
It was 16 years ago, the last time we saw the Celtics in the streets of Boston celebrating a championship. At that moment, with the roster they had, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, we thought we might see one again, and they had a couple opportunities. They didn't get that. This, again, a roster that is set up for more championships. But the point you made was a good one. There are no guarantees in life or in sports. It could be another 16 years. We hope not. Luke Cornett getting the crowd fired up.
When I was standing next to Luke Cornett, that guy is so tall, David. I just kept looking up and up and up.
And you know what? What's fun about him? His teammates love his sense of humor. He started to show that on the court, and he became a fan favorite. I feel like there aren't a lot of cities in which the 9th player on the roster is so beloved by fans.
But you need guys like that, David. There you go. The Celtics staff as well. Couldn't do without you guys. Unbelievable. Sean Grandy.
And
what a radio play announcer he is.
And I have to say, the saddest boat of all is the last boat, because you know this parade has gone by us and is almost over. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a moment. Boy, are we having fun.
It's fun with you, my friend. This is what we do here in Boston. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to WBZ live team coverage of the Celtics Victory Parade. A great parade for the 2024 NBA World Champions. They are making their way now to the Heinz Convention Center, and there is the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Shiny and gold, and no team more deserving of holding that trophy, Steve.
You're absolutely right, David, and it's been a picture-perfect day. A little bit hot, but it's a perfect day for a parade. We waited until Friday, they pulled it off, and you know what? The fans, they acted correctly. It's just been a great day all the way around. And the Celtics, as they rolled right by us, they just took it all in.
I have seen no problems out here on
Which
the
has been
streets.
great. Which
No
has been
problems.
great.
We've seen a couple of people who had some heat issues.
Right.
But everyone has been so well behaved, and we hope that continues as people disperse out to their cars or to the MBTA. Hats off to the fans of Boston for conducting themselves with pride and with honor.
And respect. And respect. And it's fun. I hate to see it come to an end. But here's the thing, we've been talking about, think about this, David. We've been talking about Banner 18 for so many years. Banner 18. Now it's Banner 19. And it's weird even saying that, right?
Yeah.
Banner 19.
By the way, we're two children. We are two children. You throwing the ball back and forth with Horford. I picked Porzingis because he's 7'3".
And you couldn't miss him.
And I couldn't miss him.
And you know what?
I couldn't
He
miss
caught
him.
it and you didn't miss him.
We are children, and you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way, because every Boston fan has that child inside of them that maybe didn't always see championships. If you're 20 years old right now, this is old hat. But not to make us sound old, but we waited a long time for that first Red Sox parade, and this has just been awesome. Let's go to Dan Roach to see what he's thinking about what he has seen today here. Roachy?
All right, Max, we just saw the whole thing. They're wrapping it up, but just the joy, the sheer fun. David, Steve having fun throwing a basketball to Porzingis and Al, what have you. This is kind of like just a massive celebration for all the people, and a big thank you to these guys.
How about the best thing about all this, Dan, is no trouble. This is a city right now that knows how to celebrate, got it done, no trouble. Love, love, love. That's all it was about.
And these guys, the way they're shaped, Max, they can do it again. They could be doing the same thing next year at this time, right?
And Roachy, you're exactly right. This team is built for that. I believe they're built to win a couple of more. I remember we're going to have to run this back on when I do sports final game. I'm going to have to run it back and say, what did I say?
All right.
Did I not say 5-1? Did I say it was going to be in 5? So I think this is a team right now that's just destined right now to play well.
But as we watch them go by again, as they're coming down the stretch here, Max, the one thing that I really appreciated being with this team almost every day for the last 2 months is people created storylines that weren't there outside of this team. They came together as a team from day one of the regular season all the way through. And in the playoffs, they got even closer, especially Jalen and Jason.
Those two guys learned that they loved each other and they needed each other. They were like the best couple in the world. We're talking about being together, wife, husband. These guys understood that they weren't going to get it done unless the other guy produced. There was no jealousy, no animosity. And then the first thing then, when Brown won the MVP, the first thing he did, he mentioned Tatum. Said my partner in crime. So I think it was a great thing.
And the good thing is, Max, you mentioned it, Jason still has motivation, right? To be the MVP of the league, to go forth and even get better.
Absolutely. I think they both do. And you know, Jaylen Brown, he has the same motivation when you think about him. MVP, but also, you know how mad he was when he didn't become all NBA? He talked about that. Now he can go another goal to get after. But really, the ultimate goal to be back-to-back. It hasn't been done in a while. And the Celtics have an opportunity. I think if healthy, they can do it.
Well, health will be the big thing with Porzingis. He's going to have surgery. One of only 32 cases in the world of what he had happen to that ankle tendon. But the other part of that is Wick Grossbeck told me that, Al's coming back. Al does not want to stop. He's having too much fun and he's making too much money.
Why wouldn't he?
Exactly.
What the hell? Why would he want to go home if you're Al Horford and go do anything else? This is a health club for you. They're paying you to come, stay in shape, and doing what he loves to do. I talked to his wife, talked to his family. They're so happy for him. His dad, the first, I think, Dominican to win it. So I'm sure Al will probably get that trophy and go over there and celebrate there. So almost like Lord Stanley's Cup. This trophy is going to be moving around a lot of places.
All right, we're going back to Steven and David.
that what we're doing? All right, guys, take it away.
Yes, we are. Rochi, thank you so much. Parade wrapping up, but our coverage is not. A lot more from the Celtics Victory Parade when we come back in just a moment.
Dave, before we go to Mike Sullivan, you got to take in this moment right here.
Whole crowd of people. Ole, ole. Like we're at a soccer match right now.
What we do here.
Let's go to Mike Sullivan and see what's happening there at the end of this parade route. He's on one of the boats. Mike?
Hey there, yeah, we're in the media truck, and just moments ago we were in this parade. However, they just took a detour heading toward Newbury Street, and now we have separated off heading down Boylston Street, coming over the bridge here now. It seems like they're letting the parade continue on toward the end of its route, and we have now separated. But what a time coming across this. Actually, they're literally quite unloading us right now and having us get unbuckled here. So I'm going to have to throw this quickly back to you and get off of this truck. But what an experience for any fan that was down here. We saw people literally sitting in windows on 3rd and 4th and 5th floors up. A little bit dangerous, but looks like they had at least coworkers holding them on the other end. And right now I am quite literally unloading from this truck. So bear with me as I don't fall. All right, now I get my 2 feet on the ground. But again, what an experience. Being able to see what was going through here, and especially being able to see the players. When you saw them up on their duck boats, cheering for everyone, interacting with fans throwing stuff at them, and then some players requesting stuff from fans. You know, they'd see a sign in the crowd they love, give me that. The fan would just hand it. All of a sudden, their sign is being held way up on one of the trucks. But just passing through the whole area, and as you've been mentioning, people were calm. They were respectful. There was very little in terms of fighting or anything like that. It's just the whole community coming together to cheer on their Celtics. Now, of course, there are lots of people who have climbed a lot of things. I mean, even right here as we are sort of at the end of Boylston Street, you get people almost on the top of Dylan's Bar over here that have climbed as high as they can to get a glimpse of some of these athletes and Celtics players that they came here to see. But it's been wonderful to see, and the young fans. I mean, think about it this way. With all the time that it's taken between the last championship and this, you've got some fans who are on the verge of getting their license, but have never seen a championship for the Celtics. Now they get to see that. And then you've got young fans. Earlier, before the parade even started, they handed me a whole bunch of T-shirts, told me to run through the crowd and chuck T-shirts into the crowd. And every time I threw one to a young little kid, it's like that's the moment they're going to remember. And now they're Celtics fans for life. And I bet there's a lot of people here that just didn't expect to see what they saw today. But what a wonderful experience for everyone here. And I'm thankful to be a part of it. Back to you guys.
Are they still going? All right, David Wade and Steve Burton again here on Boylston Street. I think they can hear us. They can hear us, I'm thinking. We're trying to figure out, it looks like the boats are still going.
Yeah. You know what? We'll come back because we got to go to a break. So we'll be back right after this, David.
All right, we'll be right back.
The Boston Celtics Parade of Champions on WBZ is presented by TD Bank, America's most convenient bank and official bank of the Boston Celtics.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Celtics Victory Parade. You're looking live at the Sea of Green, now headed home after what was an awesome parade. And we were trying to figure out moments ago about what's happening with the duck boats. We thought they would just get off at the Heinz Convention Center. We've seen that in the past. They're driving back to the Garden.
Yeah.
Let's go to Levin Reed to get his perspective on this. Levin.
Hey guys, you know, I think I'm going to echo a lot of things that everybody said with that. It was just safe, and it was great to see people out here kind of enjoying the moment, feeling good about the moment, making everything happen. It was good to see people just being community, and this is what Greater Boston is all about, where we can wrap our arms around a team and we can all just come out and have a good time, and that's what this was all about, to see the confetti fly, to see the players just enjoy the moment, see them take it in as well as the fans take it in. From our perspective, when you get a chance to watch everybody taking each other in and just enjoying it. It was just fabulous. I mean, I've been here since, 4 o'clock in the morning, and to hear the chants of MVP from 4 to now, to watch Jason Tatum come out and take this all in, to see Al get up there and be one of the first posts because he wanted kind of to lead this all the way through, and to the fans just kind of love one another and say, hey, this is something that, you never know when it's going to happen again, so take it all in. And as we all hope it can happen sooner than later, again, the Stars at 26 and 27 respectively, and it's just been a great run for them. Something that at the beginning of the season, many people said, well, it was either championship or bust. And sometimes when you say we won Boston, you get Boston, and then at that time, it's not really what you want. That's what everybody in the league got. 21 losses on the season, 1 loss on the road in the playoff, 3 losses total, and that's why they're able to hang.
Thank you,
Yes, thank you, Levin. And Levin, as you know, we've been through this so many times. We just love it. We just absolutely love it. All right, the streets are starting to clear down here in the city of Boston. We'll be back with more of our Patriots coverage. With that Celtics coverage.
Yeah, we're used to doing it for the Patriots.
Absolutely right. Celtics coverage right after this. Stay with us.
The Boston Celtics Parade of Champions on WBZ is presented by TD Bank, America's most convenient bank and official bank of the Boston Celtics.
The mass exodus is well underway. Thousands of Celtics fans making their way home. Well, they don't have to go home, but they can't stay here. We know that. And what an incredible day this has been, Steve.
And Dave, being up here on this riser here, we got a nice little cool breeze coming through here.
We did.
But in the meantime, where are we sending it?
We're going to Courtney Cole,
All
who
right,
is on
Courtney.
Tremont Street, not far from the Common, not far from City Hall. Courtney Cole, take it away.
Listen, let me tell you, we waited 16 years here in Boston for this. I waited 11 my entire TV career to work in a city with this much energy and this much love for their sports teams. And let me tell you, the people, our team, everything, nothing disappointed about today. Now, I will tell you, even though it's over, there are still plenty of people. There are people as far as the eye can see. They have had to clear out, but I have met people from all over today. Foxborough, Walpole, I mean, just from all over. I met families, young, old. A lot of people shared with me that it was also their first parade. So it was just an amazing day to be able to see your favorite players just going on by, waving. They're excited to receive all the love that we have to give. A wonderful day here in Boston. You know, when you think about a greater Boston, we talk about a greater Boston. We talk about the things that make this an awesome place to live and the things that bring all of us together. And this is one of those days. So I'm so glad that I could be a part of it. So glad to have met so many of you. And I know that we're leaving. We can't stay out here, but you know, this is just the beginning of festivities for the weekend. So everybody, please be safe. Stay hydrated out there. I'm going to send it back to you guys.
All right, Courtney Cole, thank you so much. Duck boats on the way back to the Garden. It looks like they sort of all compacted into just a couple duck boats, and they're on their way back to the Garden where they made the magic happen. We're going to be back in just a moment with more.
The Boston Celtics Parade of Champions on WBZ is presented by TD Bank, America's most convenient bank and official bank of the Boston Celtics.
Here. Steve, do your thing. Back here, back here. I'm not. Oh, give me, don't be a ball hog. It's going to Porzingis. Porzingis. Oh, yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
There you go, two children having fun at a parade.
Hey, we have a lot of fun, right?
Oh,
you hit
children.
Porzingis. You couldn't miss Porzingis.
Oh, really? Really? You're trying to say mine was easier?
No, I'm not saying that, but it was a big target.
Not to mention kind of a ball hog when they throw back. You're jumping over me because you have the height advantage.
I just didn't want you to drop the basketball.
I would
I
never.
got you back.
I would never.
I got you
Honestly,
back.
this has been a blast.
It's been so much fun,
A lot
David.
of people leaving now. Again, hats off to the city of Boston for organizing such a great parade. Great job by police, and number one, great job by the fans.
all the way around.
We'll be back with more in just a second as we talk about our strategy for the next parade and what we're going to throw. We'll be right back.
The Boston Celtics.
Welcome back. The view from the sky. Duck boats coming back to the TD Garden. Police surrounding the boats, which came down Boylston Street, stopped at Hines, which is where this ended. But what they did was they took all the players, put them on just a couple of boats, or maybe it's just this one boat. It's a tight squeeze back, but they don't mind as they go back to the Garden, the site where in October, Steve, they'll be unfurling Banner 18, and one more really special moment to come.
It's unbelievable, and I want to throw another shout out to the police who's done a fantastic job of protecting this crowd and these players, getting them back safely. These guys have done a great job. A lot of them had to walk the parade route, but the parade as a whole, the city of Boston, it comes together, David. And it's so much fun watching these fans, watching people unite to celebrate another championship team.
These guys have to be exhausted. They have to
They went
be
to Miami,
exhausted.
David.
They went to Miami, right?
They partied down there, then they came here for the special occasion.
How about the fact that they played 101 games this year? 101. And their record, 80-21. That's one of the... If you're going by records and you're going by paper, that's one of the greatest teams of all time right there.
No question about it. And you know what? They're the best record in the regular season. They're the best record in the playoffs. And you don't see a whole lot of showboating about it. They just went matter of business. And don't forget, they got blown out in Game 4.
Yeah.
But Game 4 sort of gave them that momentum, right? And that brought them back down to earth. Let's take care of business back in Boston. I'm so glad it happened just that way.
I mean, in Game 5, they're diving on the floor. They're doing whatever they
Al
can.
Horford, start with Big Al.
And this is as far as Celtics lore, the second best team to the 1986 Celtics, which is a team I know you covered.
What do you call me, old? Okay, that's it. You want to do that. They want to do that. Hey, can we get these fans behind us a little bit? Hey, guys! Celtics fans! Do you think they have a crew? They think it happens all the time.
How many championships have you seen? How many championships in Boston? All right, so a bunch of them said They've seen 2 championships. And you know what? That's pretty great.
That's right.
We've seen 13 over the past 20 years, but they know what it is to see a champion, and that's what we have right now.
It's been fun working with you, my friend.
It's been great. It's been awesome for everyone behind the scenes here at WBZ. A lot of work goes into pulling something like this off. To all of you back at the station, to all of our crews in the field, to the people behind the cameras right here with us, you've all done a great job, and no one's done it better than the Boston Celtics in 2024.
Well said.
Thanks for watching. See you on the 5 o'clock news a little bit later.